Kumusta? Hello, cakepreneurs. Hi, Ma'am Charm. Thank you for having me again. Today, I'm going to show you how to make very, very easy peony in addition to your Valentine flowers. Okay, perfect combination to go with your roses. If you guys remember, I did Christmas rose tutorial last December. You can definitely use that for your Valentine cakes as well. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we are going to start. It's fairly easy, guys. Let me just adjust the camera. There we go. Okay, so these are the tools that we need. First and foremost, of course, our glue gun. Okay, I have here an 18 gauge wire, but if you can find number 16, that is so much better. And then I'll cut it in half. There you go. Okay, cut it in half, like so. And then just turn it with your long nose plier, like so. Okay, I have here my styrofoam ball. I will give you all the measurements in the comments. Okay, I'll send you a list, and then all this as well. So what I basically will do, okay, just right smack at the center. I'll place that. Okay. There you go. Okay, that's it. And what I'll do at the end, at the bottom here, I'll put a little bit of glue, just a little bit, just so I make sure that it stays. You know that, and then a little bit on top as well. Then I will flatten it out. This you will have to tell your client that you have styrofoam, okay? Especially for kids, you don't want kids to accidentally eat or bite on your gum paste where you're using the styrofoam. But usually naman, flowers are not eaten, so that should be fine. Make sure the hot glue is not scorching hot, otherwise you'll burn your finger. And then just scrape it out. See, you filled up the gap already. Let this dry for a while before you use it. I'll give you the measurement, okay? But generally, the size of your styrofoam is up to, depending on on the size of the flower that you will make. Okay. Okay, so these are the sizes of my peony. All right, peony cutters. All right, 4. So I'm gonna use this, all right? But I will start basically with this one first, okay? So I'm gonna make like 6, 7 of the smallest, 7 to 8, 7 to 8, 7 to 8, okay? So 6 to 7 here, or you can just do 7 to 8 all, so you always have an extra one, all right? And then we decide how much petals we will arrange as we go along, okay? I've colored my paste yellow. Okay, we'll make a yellow peony this time. So basically, I'm just gonna roll it, okay, to the thinnest. I don't really like using corn flour just because it makes the paste dry very quickly. But when it gets sticky like this, then you should put a little bit of corn flour underneath, okay? You can also work with shortening so it doesn't get sticky on your hands. All right, I'm just gonna get corn flour, but use sparingly, very little. Then I'm just gonna rub it out like that. Otherwise, your petals will dry very quickly. Okay, you don't want it to dry very quickly. Okay, so let's do this. Cut as much as thin it out. Okay, how do you know if it's thin enough? It's basically when you put something underneath, like for example this, you'll be able to see, like this one here, this side is already thin, but this side is not yet. Can you guys see? Okay. See that? I can see the word peace, but here, so which means I'm gonna have to thin out some more. Okay, the thinner the petals, the better. All right, unless you're making thick petal flowers. Some of them are thick, but this one we want to make it look fairly thin. Okay, so this should be okay. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna prepare my petals as much as I can. Okay, so I'm gonna do one. One. So do 7 of this. All right. Okay, so I basically cut some of my petals. All right, as thin as I could, and I keep them in a board like this with a plastic on top, and I also keep it inside a bag, right, to keep it moist. Okay, so I took 3 out here right now. What I'll do, okay, put them down like that. This is a veiner. You don't, if you don't have a veiner, there's no problem. I'll show you another method how to vein this without a veiner. Okay, press it right at the center. This is the center of your veiner right here, like here. Just align it right at the center and press. And press. Okay. Okay. There you go. And then what you do is you turn it like so. And then with a ball tool, just soften the edges. Not much. Okay. And the sides. And then cup it. When you cup, you take your ball tool at the end of the paste and roll it. At the end of the paste and roll. So the vein is still on that side. Because why you want to do that? Because this is how you want to put your paste. Cupped on the styrofoam. Alright? Now you can also cover this with a paste if you want, just to make sure that the styrofoam can't be seen. But if you do this properly and nicely, then we don't really need to cover it. Okay, I'll do one more. Now this time you don't have, we're not going to use that. So what I'll do, I'll just use a veining tool like so, very basic. Just press the line all the way to the center. Okay, all right. And then turn it around. In the same process, just thin the edges slightly and then cup against a foam mat, okay? So we do this on all 5 to 6, okay? One more. Press. Turn, and then exhale. Cup. Okay. And then I have here glue, edible glue. I'll give you the recipe also. So you basically just put all over, all the way. Not too much, okay? It may look like I'm putting a lot, but just trust me. Okay. Just wrap it and take the excess off. There you go. There you go. Now, put one like this. There. Make sure that it's sticking on the styrofoam. The center of your styrofoam is here. Make it as centered as possible. Then just overlap it. make sure that you lock here. And just, I did not put gum paste on the styrofoam, basically, so if you're doing a production of this, then you need to be really quick, right? Okay, again, keep the center, just overlapping. Don't worry about here because we're gonna cover that later. See here. It has dried up already, so we just add a little bit more. Okay, take the excess off. And then let's put one more, overlapping, always overlapping, like so. But the edge will always be, the top of the petal will always be right smack at the center. Okay. There you go. Like so. Oops, there you go. And then just glue the other end. And then this one right at the center again. Like that. Okay, so that's our center. And just glue everything else. Maybe we can add one more here to make it a little, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 would be perfect. So let's do 6. Okay, you'll know what I mean. You want this to interlock, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6th one will go under the first here, petal, to give it that interlocking shape. Just open it slightly, put that petal in, press it, top your center there, and just fold back. Glue, glue, glue. Glue. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6 was underneath it. Once you've done this, just let it dry on a foam. Just let it dry in a styrofoam block, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna work on the next layer. Now what you need to do is work very quickly and 2 or 3 petals at a time. So I'm gonna vein. I'm gonna vein. I'm gonna vein, and then flip, flip, and flip, thin the edges. When you thin the edges, it's half in the petal, half on the mat. Okay, so I need to put some corn flour maybe on my, okay, and then again curl, thin, and then curl, same way, thin, curl. Then glue. When you glue, now this time you just glue from here, the edge up, not 3/4 up. One more. You don't want to glue the tip of the petal, and don't use so much glue. Just so. Actually, this is really not a good idea to glue there, to put glue there. I will do it on a board just because you don't want your foam to get wet. Okay, we always take the excess off like so and glue. And then turn it upside down. It should touch your tip here. See? And just let it go up. See that? Or you can push it slightly up if you want it a little bit closer. You don't want to glue all the way. Don't glue the sides yet, okay? Especially the left one, don't glue it, but glue on the right. Keep it open at the tip and do the same your next petal. Overlapping. Okay. Now, this time you can glue the left. But the first one, don't glue it. Then the right. And the tip, no. Make sure that it's not glued. And then, okay, next one. Basically, you're doing the same thing as you did with the center, but this time not gluing all the way through. Arrange as how you want your petals to look. You want it to curl in, okay? You don't want it to curl out yet. Don't glue it on the tip. Just the side, see that? Just go side like that. Go a little bit down. There you go. Manage it a little bit. There you go. Okay? You don't want it to be fully open just yet. And then you do so with 3 more petals. So make sure you open it up and put that there inside. Look at it and center. Pull it. Put glue here a little bit. Take the excess off. Okay, the excess off, and then close. And this one here, close. See first if you like how it looks. You can just adjust. While your gum paste is still wet, you can squish it and mush it and maneuver it. How you like this one? I feel like it's not centered, so I'm gonna push it in and make it more center. There you go. Just keep touching it and just pushing it in the middle. All right. Then so we're slowly building it, making it open. Okay, so now we are on the next size up. This is the third size. So we are in the medium. You can still keep the same size. It's just that Peony comes in different beautiful petal shapes. Okay, I will send you the template for this one. So again, I'm gonna work with 3 for now, and then 3 later on. Okay, the same way, the same process. I'm just gonna show you one, and I'll fast forward the rest. Okay. The edges, and again curl. That's it. Glue, take off the excess, and then don't glue all the way up, just up until here. Okay, see my hand there, right here, and then turn it upside down and put it. Depending on how open you want this to be, maybe a little bit upper for me, a little bit up, a bit more, like so. Okay, just about the same level with the previous one. And then I will glue. Of course, this is the way I work, so I will always glue here and keep this open, just because that's how I work. Okay, and then you follow with the rest. Okay, so now again, just let it fall, overlapping, but let it fall, but just about the same height, okay, as the second petal, and lock here. Up and lock. Okay, next one, let it fall. Next one, let it take a shape. I'm not happy with my change. Okay. Again, last one. No, not the last one. The one before the last one. Okay. Then open this up. If it gets dry, just put a little bit of glue and glue it, but not the edges. Keep the edges open. And then open, and this is the last one. Let it fall. Let it get a bit curly and crazy. And then maneuver it, massage it, work on it the way you want your petals to look. Okay, so this is dried overnight. There you go. So that's 3 layers of petals already. Okay, so we're gonna work again on the 4th layer, and it's gonna be the same shape as the 3rd one. Okay, again about 6 petals, but always cut about 8. Okay, so 7 to 8, so that you have extra petals. The same process with everything. Okay, but this time we're gonna put it slightly open. We're gonna slowly open our peony. Okay, so let's start. Again, if you need a little bit of corn flour, okay, but if not, if it's dry weather, you don't really have to do that anymore. So just put it right there in the center. work with two at a time if three is too much, okay? So make sure that you indent and you press, and you always use this and not here, because this is the right shape. If the petal gets bigger, then you put the petal right in the middle. So as I was talking to you, I left this out, so it has dried a bit. That will not take the indentation of the veiner very well. So make sure that your petal is wet when you're doing that, okay? So I'm just gonna press. And the same, turn, 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 and thin. And I have some drying petals here already. What I'll do is I'll put them. This is an eggshell form. So it really is up to you what you have available at home, as long as it's cup. It's a cup shape, you know. It goes like this. So this is for chocolate making that I have, and I'm just using it. You can use styrofoam as well. Okay. So I'm gonna do about 6 to 7 of this, okay? Now, just leave that, but make sure that the one here is pressed down. Okay, it's pressed down. This should be the same shape as your styrofoam ball, okay? Okay, so I have 6 here already. What I'll do is I'll just leave it here for a little bit, and I'll work on the next layer. I want this leather dry before I attach them onto the flowers. All right, so leave that aside and work on your next. Our next layer is this size. So if you guys still remember, we worked with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So first layer, second layer, third and fourth layer, and this is going to be the 5th layer, most probably the 6th as well, okay? All the numbers of petals will be given to you. Okay, so again, I'm going to work on 3s, and really just the same process of veining, thinning, and cupping. So we're going to vein, out of your veiner, turn it around, and thin. Now you see there's a tear, leave it, it's okay. That will add character to your work. And then center, pull back, let it curl, okay? And then again, I'll put it exactly in the same former. I am just gonna make sure that the bottom part here is secured. I'm gonna let this flow naturally, like so. There. And I'm gonna do 6 to 7 of this. Okay, make sure that this is flat right here. Okay, but the top one, just let it fall naturally, the former. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be our next layer, which is the 6th layer. Okay, so again, I'm gonna make 7 of this, the same entire process. Okay, now so we are going to assemble. What I have here is my glue, brush, okay, and the flowers. I have a foam. I keep the foam because what I typically do is, you know, just in case you have an accident and it drops, then it drops on the foam and not on anything hard. That's why I always keep a foam when I'm assembling flowers. Well, this is dried pretty much nicely. So what I'll do now, I'll just work on it upside down, and then I will put, this is not fully dry, but it's leather dry, you know. Get a little bit of glue and just put glue on one side like this. Take the excess off and glue on one end. Okay, I work like this. I always glue the right side. So I'm gonna put it all the way to the tip and glue that end. Okay. Take another one. And I'll glue only on one. This time I can glue both sides, it's okay. Alright, but nothing in the middle and nothing, no glue here. Okay, so just here, V, like a V, a little bit here, but nothing much here, like here. Okay, so I'm gonna put it next to it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press it like so. So it opens up. Did you see that? How it opened up? Like that. Okay? I'm just gonna press that down right at the center. But on the ends, in between, there's no glue. Just maneuver it like that. I'll show you again. Make a V, glue, take the excess off, make another V. Okay, and let's do that. Put that down, right smack at the center, overlapping. Okay, with your 2 fingers. If it's wet, just make sure you put a little bit of corn flour and then press. Like that. And it will open up the petal. See, it's opening up slightly. It's not so close. There you go. Next one. Just gonna leave it there. Take the excess out. And I'll do the same thing. So this Gumpaste is satinized Gumpaste. I just buy Gumpaste here because it's really accessible and it's not so expensive. For me, time-wise, it just makes more sense. But if you need a recipe, I know that another chef there in the Philippines has fantastic recipes, like Chef Mark. Okay, and he would be fair. I'm sure that you know him. All right. If I had to make my own Gumpaste, I do have my own recipe too. But Nicholas Lodge is a very good, he has a very good recipe for Gumpaste. You kind of have to know what works for you because of the weather. We don't deal with the same humidity. So you kind of have to figure out what works best for you. So, okay, I'm gonna close that there. And see how it's opening up? Just because we did not glue the center, it's on letter V. Okay. Hope you guys can see what I mean. There you go. See, it's opening up because we do this. Okay, one more. So 6 petals. Peony usually works with 6 petals, but I don't limit myself to the rules Like if I feel like it needs more petals, then I will definitely add more. I am kind of like that. I like rules, but I don't necessarily have to follow that all the time. So now the next one, since we keep this open, what you will do is you put your last petal right there at the middle of the first petal, and this one here, lock that. And this one, what you will do is just put a little bit, okay, and then close. There you go. And don't be afraid. I'm just gonna fold this. Okay. Now don't be afraid to play around with it, to make it work and look the way you want it to look. I always have my Dresden tool with me. Like I just play around with my petals, okay, depending on how you want them to fall, or to make sure that they're not glued all the way at the top. Okay, so we did all 6 layers already. It doesn't look very pretty, right? So what you can do, you can just adjust. Okay. Kailangan ng konting retoke. Okay. Alright, I like it actually when it has a bit of an imperfection. So this one, medyo ano pa, I'm just gonna glue here, but I don't want it glued all the way. Remember, we're slowly opening our petal. So I'm just gonna slide that. I'm gonna open the center. It really is up to you how you want your petal to look, okay? So you play around with it. You squish it, you make it a little bit asymmetrical. You don't want it to be too perfect. When it's too perfect, it looks so fake. A wrinkle there, a little bit of, yeah, like that. Okay, I'm just gonna hang this upside down again, and then I'm gonna put our last layer. Okay, if you want to use it like this, by all means, you can make small ones like this, even the first layers that we did. And then ito yung medium size, and then you make the large size. So either way, it will work best for you. I will not stop. So, okay, let's do the next layer. Okay, hi guys. So this is now our dried flower. There you go. So I'm going to color this with a yellow shade, a bit brighter. This is Sugar Flare, Primrose actually, but you know, I kind of was a bit aggressive with the label there. Okay, so this is by Sugar Flare. Okay, but you can use any yellow shade, really. Dusting, coloring your petals, it's all personal preference. And I'm gonna mix a little bit of pink, and this is by Wilton, just Pink Dust by Wilton. Okay, so I always dust or work wire with the foam underneath. Okay, and then here is my dust. Okay, just a quick one. I'm gonna start I'm gonna take the color, the dust on my brush, and I'm gonna take some off. And then I'm gonna start right in the middle because I want the middle to be bright yellow. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm not gonna lighten the color because I want it a bit more brighter actually. Okay, so see the change already? I'm using a small brush because I'm a bit careful of where the color goes, but definitely you can use this brush too. Okay, flat brush, just want to go inside. Be gentle, okay? It's usually just a touch. I'm not bouncing it so hard, just a touch of color. And then you do some shading, so color inside there. Put some color there. Okay. There you go. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions.